Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are, remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another great video with the Hockey Coach Guru, Coach FRENCHY, for the Hockey Nation live show. I'm going to start a new series of video about the World Junior Championship. I'm going to present to you each country, the best player, the roster, everything what you need to know for the World Junior Championship. Start this week, December 26th, in Edmonton, Alberta. So today we're going to talk about the country, the Team USA. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to give you all the information you need to know about Team USA 2022 World Junior Championship. But before we start, we invite you, don't forget to subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the likes. And finally, of course, tell us what you think about the Team USA and also what is your prediction about that team and also about the World Junior Championship. So let's dive in talking about this tournament that is going to start December 26th in Alberta, Red Deer. So about 10 different countries going to be a part of this tournament. Of course, in 2023, this World Junior Champion will be in Russia. And finally, the 2 years, 2024, is going to be in Sweden, at Gothenburg. Let's dive in about the Team USA. The first thing you need to know is about, of course, let's see the roster. The roster, guys, is about different players. Only 2 players as a forward and defenseman are not drafted in NHL. So they have a great, solid defense players inside that roster. We know already, example like Matty Bernier was the 2nd overall pick last NHL draft. We have Matt Coronota. Nato is a 13th overall pick. Maki Samokovich for the Florida Panthers. We have Matthew Knights for the Toronto Maple Leafs, first round. Chas Lucius, another great player, got drafted by the Winnipeg. We have our Sasha Bastujov, Brad Berard, Ty Smilinic, Dylan Peterson, Landon Slaggard. We have Logan Cooley. That's the one of the 2 are not a draft yet. That's something the Montreal Canadiens should learn more about him. I'm going to talk a little bit more about him the next couple of minutes. Carter Measure for the defensemen, where they are really where I believe the Team USA are the most best defensemen in that tournament, one of the top best 3 team. We talk about Jake Sanderson, Tyler Cleven, Jack Peart. We have Brock Faber, Scott Morrow, and Luke Hughes, and Jan Moore. For the goaltender, they have Drew Comesso. And what I'm going to give you at the end of this video, guys, I'm going to give you a little bit a short profile for each players. And it's not going to be, I'm not going to talk about much about them one by one, but you can stop and pause the video to read about each players. So what you need to know is about that tournament, guys. As 10 team, Group USA are in the Group B with Russia, Sweden, Slovakia, and Switzerland. After the preliminary round, they take the 4 first team, 4 team in that group. I expect Team USA finish 2nd on that group, so they're going to be on the quarterfinal. Then they play 1, 4, 2, 3. And then after that, semifinal and the final, they cross each other. So that's what happened about that tournament. It's been that way all the time. The next thing you need to know is this is the lineup about them, what they've been drafted. If you follow example, the name Drew Comesso, he was drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks. So on the name, you see the team and NHL draft them. You can see Hughes, New Jersey. You can see Faber, Los Angeles King, Jan Moore on the Anaheim Ducks, and Morrow for the Carolina. Then you see where they are born and also their age, the weight, and also where they play at that moment. Some play in the USHL, some play on the NCAA. Most of them at that moment, a few of them play right now on the OHL also. So you can, like I said, take a pause, everything like that. Now, like I mentioned, you have two players. You have the James and Cooley are not draft yet. James is not right now in the top 2 round, at least the top 50 best prospect. But Cooley right now is the top 15 in my book. And I want to share to you a little bit. You need to know who is Logan Cooley. He was born in Pittsburgh 2004. He's a 5'10", 170, 74. Honestly, he turned 17 this year. Cooley is a great hockey player. Play right now for the US NTDP, exactly what Matthews and McEnroy and those kind of players play on that team. He play also on the USPHL. So you can read about Logan Cooley, but read about him and tell me more about what you think about Logan Cooley. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is on this end of this video, you're going to see each players, each forward, each defenseman, each goaltender. And this is a little bit a profile for each player. First, where they play at that moment. Example, Matthew Knights, University of Minnesota. He was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs, second round at the 57 overall. And then you can read about what they are doing right now. So one by one, guys, you have those kind of information you need for your profile for each player for Team USA. So that gives you an idea what kind of player they are and what kind of team they're going to be. And finally, I want to remind you also players for the roster for the USA. You have Matthew Coronato, Dana Dickinson, Chad Luce. He was drafted by Winnipeg. Then you have Carter Measure, play right now for the Denver University. He was drafted by the Detroit Red Wings. The Tampa Bay got Declan McDonald and Sasha Bastujov. You have Red Savage, Maki Samukovich from the Florida Panthers, 24 overall pick. Dylan Peterson for the St. Louis Blues, 3rd round pick, 86 overall. Then you have also in the lineup Landon Slaggard, Ty Smilinic, 2nd for the Florida Panthers, 3rd round pick, 74 overall. Dominic James is not drafted. He's going to be on the NHL. What about Luke Hughes for the University of Michigan right now, drafted by the New Jersey Devils, 4th overall. And then you have Brock Faber from the Minnesota NCAA. You have other players inside that roster you can see at that moment, and you can read about where they play and what they are doing when he was drafted. More are coming to you right now at that moment. The defensemen, Scott Morrow, Jan Moore. Finally, we finish also with more defensemen and the goaltender situation. And here we go. So Jack Sanderson, one of the best defensemen in NCAA at that moment. So that's conclude the roster for USA. So is the schedule for the USA. They play Sunday, December 26th, again, Slovakia. Then 2 days later, Switzerland. The next day, again, Sweden. Finally, they finish their preliminary. Again, the team Russia. So it'll be interesting about that. Those game guys are all on the live stream by the Hockey Nation Live Show. I'm going to provide to you guys this year, USA and also Team Canada. So that gives you an idea, guys, what Team USA is at that moment. And I predict for me, Team USA is going to be in the semifinal, and they're going to win possible the bronze or finish 4th. That's my prediction for me at that moment for the World Junior Championship. We know they won the gold last season against the Team Canada. So that's conclude, guys, the first video of a few of the World Junior Championship 2022 with the hockey coach, Guru Coach FRENCHY, for the Hockey Nation Live Show. But before we leave, we want to remind you, please subscribe, click on the likes if you enjoyed this video, and finally, tell us what you think about Team USA. And of course, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, blessing day, everybody. I look forward for the next video with Coach FRENCHY. Mes amis, c'est la fin du vidéo pour l'équipe des États-Unis pour le tournoi du Junior Championship qui va se dérouler à Edmonton. Dites-moi ce que vous pensez de l'équipe des États-Unis. Et finalement, n'oubliez pas de vous abonner. Et bien sûr, cliquez sur le petit pouce en haut si vous avez bien aimé la vidéo. Et dites-moi ce que vous pensez de l'équipe des États-Unis pour le prochain tournoi junior. Je vous souhaite une très belle journée. On se revoit plus tard pour une autre vidéo avec l'entraîneur Coach FRENCHY. Bonne journée, mes amis.